radio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/achieveradio.
Hi, how are you, Joseph?
I'm fine. How are you, Anne Marie?
Great. Today is the second day of March. I
Isn't that
cannot believe it.
something? Mhm.
I'm just amazed how fast that month went. It just seems like, you
Well,
know,
February's short, even this time, even with the leap year.
yeah.
And March to me will always feel the longest. March always feels super long to me. It always had because it always made winter feel colder. It would make that it would be that extension of winter sometimes. And even though spring is on March 20th, or is it the 21st? Is it? Even though that's the month where we have our spring start, it still feels like a long month. It's also a month where you have to be careful with your health. Really, it's the flu
Especially
season.
now, especially with that.
But
Yeah.
this is that time of year, though. I mean, March is the time, and it's not just like the usual contagious things that we have, like the flu, and now we have something new, of course. Um, wash your hands and do all the things, all the old-fashioned things that your grandparents did. You keep yourself clean. You don't touch your face. Don't put your hands in your mouth. Don't put your hands in your eye.
Do you know
And
how
you
hard that
know,
is not to put
well, you
your
train
hands to your
yourself.
face? It
I had
seems like,
trained.
it's kind of like it's like going on a
Yeah.
diet for me
Hmm.
because when I tell myself, do not touch your face, you're in a public place, I
Right.
find that all of a sudden I'm getting little itches and I'm finding that I am actually doing it more. So it is like,
Well, what trained me not to do that was my teenage years because I had acne, and one of the things you
so
learn
did
to
I.
do is don't touch your face. So, and,
Hmm.
and so you wash your face and you put your acne cream on and you don't touch your face, and that's it. And if you touch your face, you only use clean hands, and that's why you don't let anybody touch your face unless you know where those hands have been, because and the people who prepare your food, you want to make sure that they have clean hands too.
Yeah, this is probably not the time to
So
eat at
that
buffets.
is something you need to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
You
sneeze
know,
guard is not. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in those sneeze guards usually anyway, and I'm easily grossed out by that sort of thing. The salad bar, it's like it
oh,
sounds good until you realize how exposed all that food is all day long. and they have
well,
and they do
I
have
have
that sneeze guard up there, and that's not going to do you any good if somebody sneezes.
do you
It's
remember
just not.
Saturday Night Live and the
Yes.
woman that used to breathe on the face shield, and
Oh,
she would make sounds like she
oh,
was, you know,
wasn't I thought that was a living color. I thought that was the one, but I guess I don't remember now. But yeah, she always walked around going.
yeah,
It was just
but
horrible. She would clear her throat. The gross, just one of the grossest characters ever. And it's one of those
but
things I
there,
think
yeah,
about as I'm getting old. I'm going to be 60 in June. Oh my God.
uh
And I'm thinking, I don't want to be like, those gross old men, with the yellow ear, and the and the greasy hair whirl in the back of the head. You go, oh God, no. And I think
or
about that with my
little
ponytail
ponytail.
and my hair. I think, oh my God, I have to make sure my hair is always really clean.
Yep. Well, you know what? It is just age
Yeah.
is nothing but a number, Joseph.
Well, that's
Age is
true. It
nothing but a
is, and
number.
what
And you
matters is
know,
that you feel good. And if you feel good, and if you're healthy, and if you have a good outlook, and if you have a good life, it's all right. I don't
right.
mind. I would rather age than have left the planet early. You know what I mean? And I would just. It's nice to have a lifespan. It really is. If you're.
Well, it's nice to have a lifespan, but on the other hand, if tomorrow or the next day is the day, I'm ready. But I am
Well, we
not
have
going
no
to.
control over that. So
Yeah.
people always say about psychics, or if you read cards or if anything at all, they always say, "Well, I would have thought they'd seen that coming." Well, it's not that we don't
Oh, I
see it
hate
coming. It's
that.
just that
I hate
we
that.
don't you've already acknowledged that might come, and so we don't pay attention to it. We don't look at that.
Well,
It's just like,
no,
look,
and
remember when Sylvia Brown passed away? She was a psychic. She was famous, and people I said, well, I guess she didn't see that coming. Well, it's such a silly thing to say. It's like, well, I'm sure she knew and didn't care, and she didn't focus on that in her life. I mean, we don't think about that. I
well,
wouldn't think about it. If I could do it, I wouldn't do it because, oh my goodness, why would I want to know that? you
I
know.
can remember when I had a car crash and somebody said something like that. Oh well, you should have. If you're so psychic, how come you didn't see that coming? And it was like, oh come on, give me a
I
break.
know.
I have as much inner chatter going on up here that I'm paying attention to as you are. So if you're asking me to work and to read, then okay, I will tune into that. But I don't walk around all day like an antenna going, read, 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 read,
And
read,
you
read,
can
read, read,
always go tell them something that they wouldn't see coming.
I know, yeah, yeah. Well, I
And it
do
wouldn't
want
be
to,
Merry Christmas.
right.
No,
I
the
do want
reason
to tell,
why, yeah, yeah,
I do want
we don't see that coming because we don't look for it, and that's the thing. You don't look for it because in the course of the day, it's all very ordinary, it's all very normal, and nobody
right.
imagines these out of the blue things because we don't sit around contemplating this. We would never walk out of our homes. We'd be too busy
Just
trying to plan each moment of our lives, and you can't do that. That's not living.
just like just like that poor man that predicted the end of the world and had a crowd waiting for him on the
Oh yeah, he was
streets,
wrong twice, wasn't he? Yeah.
and then the microphones were there and it was like, oh well, I guess the Bible didn't steer you right or something,
Well,
but
it
here's
may
the
have
thing.
happened somewhere else.
Yeah,
It
on
may have
another
happened.
parallel dimension.
Well, I've always had that feeling that maybe something had ended. There are times when I have seen ends and I didn't see it coming because I was waiting for something bizarre to happen and it wasn't. And actually, what happened was there was a change and there was something like when you pick up the tower card or something and you go, uh oh, this is going to be okay, something's going to come to an end, but it's also a good thing. It's one of those things that it's a card you see. It's like, yes, something comes to an end and it will be very sudden, but there's like, but afterwards, it's one of those things you go, well, I guess it really had to be anyway, in
Right.
order for anything good to happen next. And I did experience that a few months ago with a sick friend and we needed to make some changes. And all of a sudden, woof, our whole world flipped into a different, more positive way, and everyone's better now. And you would not recognize the feel of everything here. It's completely different in a more positive way. And it's almost like, oh my gosh, that world really did end. That world
Mhm.
really did come to an end. It's just that it ends in different ways. And I seem to think of it like, wow, it's almost like we skipped into a parallel time to get away from something. And we didn't stop it from happening where we left it, but we left it. It
I
continued to
totally
happen.
believe that. I
Yeah.
totally believe. Here we have. I just want to let everybody know that we give free readings on the things that you need answers on. And we will read on love, career, angel message readings. I know Joseph lets me do that. And
Yeah.
crossing over. Or we can even do, and I want to tell you that if you want to know, and maybe we should, leave that open, to what the presidential candidate will be for the Democratic Party or whatever, or ultimatum, we can do a reading on it, but do not slander us afterwards because your candidate did not come through. Because we are reading in neutrality. I remember
Yeah.
once I did palm reading with a wonderful palm reader, and all of the Bernie people followed her. And I was slandered because I dared to do a reading on Hillary
Well,
Clinton's hand, and it was like, come on, people,
you
this is
know,
just silly.
and sometimes, the reason why I don't try to predict be, who's going to win or who's going to run, because one of the reasons why is because you, what I get is the truth in the cards. Is as truthful as it gets. The trouble is that I don't know what the circumstances are that caused it to not. I'm saying, like, if you predict a winner, maybe that person really did win, but they didn't win because of something dishonest. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the true winner is and who really wins. Who is the winner and who's the announced winner? And just like we've had these snafus with voter counting and then the Supreme Court coming in and making a declaration, that does not really tell us who the real winner was. Because when they say, oh, no, stop the count, we're just going to declare them the winner, then we're not going to know who really won.
Well, I
So
tell you
that's
what,
why when they say, like,
if you
they
don't want to do it,
predicted,
I
yeah.
will, because
I don't usually do that because one of the reasons for that is because I like to stay non-political because I know people are just bombarded with politics all day long. And so I figure when I come on, one of the last things I want to do is talk politics, when they tune
I
in.
totally understand. But I'm saying,
But
all I'm saying
I don't
is,
mind. I
if the
don't mind
question,
pulling a card on it for fun. But don't hold me to this because like I'm saying is
right,
maybe this person is going to win. But the thing is, if it's being manipulated in some way, and because we know that this does happen, we know that this does happen. We know that we did have a few presidents who did not technically win. They were declared. It was the Supreme Court declared it. So
right,
they didn't win. They didn't win a certain. They won the college of electoral votes. They did not win the popular vote, etc. So when you say win what? Well,
right.
they might have won the popular vote, but they're not going to become president. You know what I mean? Or they might not have won. We can say no, they're going to lose. But president. So you don't really lose. It's hard to say. And
Yeah.
that's my point. It's really
So anyway,
hard to make that kind of a prediction.
at
Yeah.
at this point, where room is very quiet, and I just want to
Yeah, I
say,
see that.
yeah, this is the quietest I've seen it in a long time. And if you want a reading again, please do um, just type in your question on the where it says chat on the side of the video, and we will answer any question that you want. Also, I have noticed that we have one person so far
Oh,
that
good.
is that's Russell.
Oh,
And Russell
hello
is,
again.
yes,
I
Russell.
think I think it's the same Russell, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Russell says, hi,
Uh,
I'm just waiting to get a background check, but I have an offer from a background check company. So that is good. But as it is not paying what I want, I will
oh,
continue to look. Had another interview last week and got another this week. So why don't you just take a look at Russell and see what's coming up? And Russell,
sounds
we
like you're looking.
will just for the heck of it.
Well, that isn't. Yeah, I haven't seen that. You've had some letdowns. in the past, shown by the Nine of Swords, which is a card that's very emotionally upsetting to see, as we have here. Um, but I do see that, with it being, I do see it was you were really dangerously out of balance before. It seemed like there was some really emotional things going on, and what I'm seeing in the past is that perhaps maybe you didn't have some good ways of relieving stress, because those things would chip away at your health too. Um, and I am seeing that at the present time, I do see that there is a definite need for money. I do see you pursuing money. I do see that there are some financial problems. I do see that you need to, or that you have re-examined and changed your goals. You have, I'm seeing here that you have decided to adapt to some more realistic goals. I do see a change in what you decided to go for, and if that hasn't happened yet, I do see that that's what the cards are encouraging to do, because the cards want you to know that the money itself isn't going to make you happy. It's just something that we need to keep us, alive, and to pay for things that we need. But money will not bring you happiness, but it will bring you some security. So that's what this card wants you to know. What the card wants you to do is to get more in touch with your inner self, because that's why I'm seeing this change. It says maybe perhaps these cups that are all upside down aren't going to hold very much. So that's what needs to be done here, is to try to reach inside yourself and try to get in touch with your inner happiness, because you're looking for exterior ways to be happy. And I know it's easier said than done, but you have to see what good you have in yourself and what you do have. And you do have these things, you're just not seeing them. You're not appreciating them. So there's a need to revamp, less focus on monetary things, more focus on personal happiness. Need versus want is something that is the focus now, especially with the shortage of money. But I also see that shortage of happiness, that shortage of joy, as well as a shortage of money. The two are not the same. Okay, money will not bring the joy, even though you need it. Okay, so I do see coming down the road. I do see that you just simply need more vision. And what I see here is this lack of vision. You need more creativity. And I would say perhaps you need more interactions with friends, with people who know what they're talking about, who know about what you want to get into in your life. Those are the people that you need to speak to, and people who are actually doing it. And what I'm seeing is you're just not going to be able to move forward until you start getting out more. Okay, but I do see that you can change that by getting out, and that's shown to you by the Wheel of Fortune. And like I said, though, you got to spin that wheel in order for it to go anywhere. And what I'm seeing is that you might have the potential you might tend to not want to move that wheel. That's what I'm seeing here. But this card coming in your near future says that you really should. Now, the 10 is prominent. So I'm seeing that once you start to spin this wheel in the right direction, and once you reevaluate, try to change your goals and your approach, and I do see that you'll have some results, some really stronger results from these little jobs within about 10 weeks to 10 months. Okay, 10 months seems kind of far, so I would say more like 10 weeks. Okay, 10 weeks, because I don't go beyond a year with my readings usually. So I'd say about 10 weeks. But you have to try to get that wheel spinning. Really, you have to make some sort of an effort. I'm seeing that because of the emotions, it's almost maybe like you're cocooning or something, you're hiding right now. That's fine, but you really do have to try to build this on your own and try to build this inner inner strength, because it really has to come from inside of you. It can't be, people can't fix this for you. You have to heal on the inside. So you have to consider all this, and you won't get there if you have bad habits that chip away at your strength. Okay, try to work on all these things, and you can't do it all at once. But like I always said, change one thing, one negative thing in that equation. Take it away and change it, eliminate it. If it's something that's costing you money, if something that isn't adding to your life, you might be able to do without it. So try to see that. And change one thing in your equation, and you have a completely more positive outcome. So try to do that, and you will see the difference, because it really does work. Change one thing. Get rid of one thing you don't need that is pulling you down. Think about it. Okay, that's all I could say on that. That's all I could be told on this, really, because it is. I do see that you do have this recovery thing, and yes, we all do need to do that. Well, once we've been injured, but you have to work on growing and opening up all over again. So do that. Okay, Anne-Marie, what do you see?
Russell, I am starting this reading with 3 very basic points. The first point that I'm seeing is that it's time for you to hang out, join groups, LinkedIn, any place where you can talk shop. Talk shop would be like going to places where you share common interests of career. What is that? I don't know. I forget. But the main thing is in April, it says, woohoo, it's wonderful. The outcome of you talking shop in places that are social networking or places like LinkedIn or wherever you can go where you can share your interests. You will find that the connection happens probably more by your own personal means than maybe even hiring somebody to find a job for you. So here's what I see in more detail. Right now, Russell, it says you're sick and tired of the whole damn thing. The Hierophant stands for tradition, for the commitments and responsibilities of keeping your head up out of water. Boink. It's reversed, which says this is just exhausting for you. It's really pissing you off that you even have to worry about all this. Because I feel that you are getting sick of it. You need to understand that the underlying energy that you're projecting may be one of boundaries and defensiveness. What does that mean? It means that without even knowing it, one, you're projecting a sense of failure before you even have the job. And two, you may be actually at the point where you're so sick of thinking about the whole thing that yes, you want a job, but you're so tired of all of the high drama of all of this. Your reading says that right now you feel like every time you have a new beginning, this means new beginnings, it's reversed. Your reading says that every time you feel like you're getting somewhere, it bottoms out, which causes you to be in depression. Well, guess what happens when you go in depression, Russell? You start projecting the sense of boundaries, of fear of failure, and kind of like a cocoon, like Joseph said, of self-protection. The future says you're coming back to your old work life, not old work life, but you're coming back. This means leaving. This means reversed, coming back. The time frame on it is 8. we can hope that that's within 8 days. It could also be 8 weeks, which we will hope. It says April. It didn't say which day in April. This is the beginning of March, but April would still be 8 weeks, during that time frame.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It also says that after that, it's almost like your spirit rises like the phoenix. And you feel like, oh, thank you, God, I am finally back. So my
Mm-hmm.
feeling is watch out for feeling like, as Joseph says, that you're in a cocoon, that you're preparing to just hide out and hunker down and feel as if nothing's going to work. Because I believe that when you get in that state of mind, what happens is without even meaning to, you are almost telepathically sending the message, it's never going to work. why
Right.
why hire me? And it's so easy to do that because I get in that way sometimes. Let's say I have readings and I have 3 readings and they're all with unhappy people, and the people start out fine, but then before I know it, they're starting to whine, or they're starting to cry, or they're starting to be upset with me because I'm being honest with them. Guess what happens on that 4th call? I'm
Mm-hmm.
afraid. I'm feeling a sense of failure. I'm feeling a sense of dread. I don't want to hear what's on the other line. And I think that's kind of the frame of mind that you've gone into, Russell. So I
Yeah.
wish you luck on this, and I hope that your job recruiter works for you. But do understand that you may be actually getting in that zone. He, Here's what Russell says: I took a job at a Walgreens at the end of January. That isn't the best. Got bullied by a customer last week. So, no one, the full time spot comes, Walgreens will go. I did join a spiritualist church 2 months ago that helps me get focused more. Great. That's wonderful, Russell.
That's
All
very good.
right. Okay. Do you see
Try
anybody in
try
the chat room yet?
try school systems. School systems on try school systems and other means of employment besides stores. You could work for your town. Try city hall. Try school systems. Try libraries. Try all that. There's a whole other world outside of that other world. Okay, outside
Right. Get out
you're
of your
in the
comfort zone.
service. Yeah, try, but it's a whole other way of doing things. So try to open up your mind more to more possibilities. Okay, on to the next one. I'm sorry.
Okay. We have Blah from High. Can I ask a question? Yes, you can. I don't know how to say your name, sweetie. And we have Elaney. Hello, hello. And just type your questions on the chat. BLAH. Hi. What is your question?
Oh,
If you
yeah.
don't have a question, then we will just
Well, it
read
says
on.
Blah has a job-related question, so we could just.
Oh, okay.
I've seen
All
that
right.
Blah
Oh, I
has.
see. Job related question.
Yeah, so let's
Okay.
just see what Blah has. Blah feels
Okay.
blah, I guess. Huh?
Blah feels blah.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
We're reading on you, babe. And Elaney wants to. Oh,
Well,
Pink
don't start
Rose.
out being
Hello, Pink
blah.
Rose. Uh, Pink Rose says, "Hey, type your question, Pink Rose. Elaney, you will get a love reading. Please, everybody, give our video a like. When you do that, it shows appreciation for your reading. You're getting 2 readings per call. Okay, just give that reading
Well,
a like.
blah has. I'm sorry. it's,
Go ahead.
Blah has always been a hard worker. I do see that she, Blah, I don't know why I'm saying she. I don't know why that's the first thing out of my mouth. I don't know what Blah is. But I do see
Blah.
that Blah is somebody who should be proud of past accomplishments because Blah has always been a good worker. I do see that in terms of work, this is like you're somebody that no one has to really worry about doing it right because you're always going to do it right because you don't do half-assed work. And I do see that at the present time, we're seeing here the Five of Swords. So I do see that you're being told to put your interests first. this time in life because it's time that you did that. It is time that you have an interest, if there's something that you want to do, and you know that you can do it. I'd say go ahead and do it because you can't be of use to anybody else if you expend all of your resources doing things for them. You see what I'm saying? You have to save something for yourself, and this is what you want to do. You feel, well, now I want something. Well, then I say, go ahead, go for it. You should do that. And I do see that in the future, we have the Fool, which is a happy card. It's a guy wearing colorful clothes. He's walking, he's on a journey, and people say, but he's going off a cliff. Don't worry, he's got a little dog with him. So the little dog will be his guide. And since the card is right side up, this is a good journey for you to take. It says here it's full of unprediction, and that's how you are. And you should return to your unpredictable self. And it says here that you should be spontaneous and you should go ahead and you should do your venture. If there's something that you want to do, I think it's time you do it. And because it says it's all good. And you have a
All right.
wonderful history of having a great background of work, so you do know your stuff. This is not something this doesn't show up as some willy-nilly thing here. I think that you should go ahead, and I say enjoy. Good for you.
All right. And I'm just going to pull one card on blah because I think it'll tell. It says blah, it's a team effort.
Yep.
And what that means is that if you're feeling blah, perhaps you need to understand you have friends out there that love you. You have people out there that are there to help raise your spirits. And so please don't don't hide out. Don't stay alone, honey. This is not the time to do that. March is a terrible month for depression. But please remember, this too will move on to beautiful, beautiful energy. So don't let March cause you to
Oh
sink
yeah, I
into the
see her
depths of
moving on.
depression.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay,
I
I'm going
see
to
her
go to
moving on.
Pink Rose has a name on Izzy. And so, Izzy, I'm going to read on Izzy because that way I'll get it then and then hand him over to you for quickie because we don't want to
Right.
leave people here. They get mad. Um,
Oh yes.
Izzy, here's what I show for his feelings for you.
Let me see.
All right. Pink Rose, when I look at what comes up, it says Izzy has only one complaint. He sees you as a hellaciously, sometimes very honest, and very aggressive person about what you want, which can be both a beautiful thing and it can also be scary and intimidating to Izzy. Your reading says that Izzy in the past, this means in control, authoritative, it's upside down. So Izzy in the past has not always been the most secure guy. In fact, sometimes one of the things Izzy seems to be terrified of is women who get jealous or women who, for whatever reason, find a problem with him being kind of not falling into what they want of him. It shows though there is a deep spiritual connection. This is the devil, but and that can stand for obsession, but it's upside down, which is spirituality. And so Izzy feels that there is a spiritual connection with you. I'm shown though that for whatever reason, you may notice that two things. Izzy may be a guy that has a lot of friends, and he doesn't want to give those friends up. In fact, he may have a problem with trying to please too many people at once, which may make you feel invisible. The other thing could be that there may be kind of a love hate relationship going on between between you and Izzy, Laura. And my feeling is that he cares about you, but the one thing he's terrified of is not being able to please you, because he's afraid that women in his past have not always been the easiest for him to get along with. And it shows that the one thing he's terrified and intimidated of is jealousy and arguing. So play it cool. All right, Joe, what do you have
Well, I'm
for?
seeing, well, I'm seeing that in his past, I am seeing that there was some
This
sort
is
of,
Laura. This is Laura.
oh, Laura, yes, I know that, but the
Okay.
person that she wants to know about is
Izzy.
Izzy, right? Well, Izzy's past, there was some trouble with needing new goals and projects, and Izzy seems to be someone who used to be rather bored. But I am seeing that this time, I'm seeing that there's some problems in his involving, like I'm seeing legal problems, possibly with a lawsuit or with papers or with legalities. I do see that there's some property problems, maybe things that are sort of a drain on, maybe it's something that you're both going through, where there's a drain, there's too much business going on here. And I'm seeing that there's just this is like a major drain I'm seeing on either on him or on the two of you together, or a fear of him, a fear of this. I don't know why it would be, but I do see that there's a fear of, like, say, even like an unwanted marriage proposal. Like, what if they don't want to do this? Maybe he's afraid you're going to say no, or maybe he's like, maybe he doesn't, who knows, but I'm seeing like there's a lot of like anxiety with him about the way he feels, and these could be just a whole bunch of things that I'm do seeing. And the really bizarre thing is that I pulled up the devil upside down too for what's in store,
Oh, huh.
and that is something that I'm seeing, that there's an aggressive sort of manipulation um, coming down the road, and maybe it's a fear of that. Maybe he's afraid of being manipulated. Maybe this has happened before. Maybe he just simply has some trust issues with relationships. It could be maybe he wants to strengthen this, but then he's afraid of, like, this. I know what happened last time, and the thing is, maybe you guys just need to chill and to just sort of like enjoy life as it is for now. Apparently, there's some things in the present time that need some wrapping up. I think once those matters are taken care of, there'll be less stress. I do see that the aggression should taper off then once all this stress goes away. Um, that is something that I'm seeing also here, that when I see the devil in relationships, I'm seeing that there needs to be some understanding involved. There's some self-understanding. You both have to know each other really well, and maybe it's time that you did some self-internal analysis, each of you, and deciding what exactly is it that you want from each other, or what are you expecting of each other. And if you're both on the same page, I say that it's great. But I'd say if this is one of the problems that's causing a conflict or a delay, and like you said, there seems to be something this person wants to say and doesn't know how to say it. Maybe he just doesn't know how to say it in a way where he won't hurt your feelings, because he doesn't want to do that either. I mean, how does a person express fears about the relationship without offending the other person? So think about that, of how difficult it would be for you to express, or to hear what a person is going to say. Always consider how you would feel if it was coming at you, and how would you feel. So that is something that maybe he needs to work on. So that's what I'm seeing here. I am seeing that you guys need to be more open, and I do see that there's some self-analysis between the two of you that needs to happen.
She
That's what
says
I'm
he's his.
seeing.
Laura says he's her best friend.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give a reading quick for it, for Eleni, and Eleni wants a reading on David. So we're going to look at that. And
What was the name?
David.
David. She wants to know about David.
Yeah, David's feelings and intentions currently.
Yeah.
So when I look at David, Eleni, um, I here's what I see. I get in the past, and I don't know how long David's been around, but sometimes he was really hard to read. He didn't always seem to vocalize his emotions and feelings. And my feeling is that it was confusing for you, Eleni, because sometimes maybe David gave mixed messages, or maybe David was just not very vocal. But it says that David is a good guy, and I get aura cleanse. And what that says to me is that David may be a little more, um, I'm not going to say shy, but he seems to be somebody that is a good guy. And it says that in April, which I'm getting a lot of good stuff for people in April, it says that will be the time for you to decide if you want to accept his mixed messages or if he is being more vocal. One way or the other, decisions are going to have to be made, Eleni, in that month. Now, here's how it feels for you. And if I look at that, Eleni, here's what comes through. Your reading says David is. I think he seems not only to be a good guy, but he seems to be somebody who totally does not feel uncomfortable with commitments and responsibilities. David also seems to feel that there is some chemistry between you both because he feels the drama. David has feelings for you, and it shows that right now he is sweet on you. It also shows in the past that one of you may have gone through a legal issue, a breakup, or something that had to cause quite a bit of stress. It shows in the future that watch out for giving more than you're getting back, Eleni. I would say the secret for David is not, this means sharing, but this is reverse. And it would say, do not put all your eggs in one basket so that you're waiting in suspended animation. Okay, he is your ex. So the main thing I see about him is he's a hard worker. He seems to be somebody that feels like he cares about you, but also, and it says he still has a lot of feelings for you. So if he's your ex, then I guess that past of the breakup would be right on. So is he coming back into your life? Him and his ex. Okay, him and his ex had that. Okay, so if I look at, is David a part of your future 2020? And when I look at that, what I get is yes. But I do not see anything between he and his. Yeah, I know. I just saw that. You're worried about his ex, and it says that is not going to get better. Right now, this means improvements, and it's upside down, which says what's in the past is in the past, Delaney. I would leave it alone. I would relax. My feeling is that you are his in 2020, or his focus is on you. I'm not one to feel you blow smoke up your butt, but I don't want to say that he's forever in your life, but I feel that this is an unfinished project for you both.
Mhm.
What do you have on it, Joseph?
Well, people come into our lives for different reasons, and sometimes it's not always the reason that we're hoping for. But I do see that in the past, I do see that there was a lot of planning. You're a planner, and there are plans, and it's that's always a good way to be. And I do see that about you, that you're somebody who I do see that there was something new started, something recently new started, like a new business or a new job. I'm seeing that in terms of work and staffs, the rods. At the current time, the Wheel of Fortune, this relationship, I'm seeing that right now, and because you're asking, like, what does he think of me? I'm seeing that there must be a standstill here because that wheel's not moving. But I am seeing that the wheel is going to move, and I do see that you're going to have more control over finding out what you want to know. You're going to have more control over the situation, and I do see that you're going to have there is hope for something good coming down the line here with the Wheel of Fortune, and the fact that you're going to have a little more control in the near future. And tens, I figure, in 10 days to 10 weeks, I see that you're going to have some more control over where this is going. Is he forever? I can't say that either. I do say that what we have here is the Eight of Cups coming up ahead for you. And I do say that this is something that depends upon you and your attitude. So you're being cautioned as to your temperament, and, like, don't react to something until you understand it all. Okay, it's one of those things I'm hearing is like, um, unless ask questions, don't just make assumptions and then jump. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that, because you might see something that might make you think something negative, and so it's always best to get an explanation. Don't assume. Like the old thing where the old situation comedy routine where somebody happens to see somebody sitting at a table at lunch with somebody, you know what I'm saying? And I think, oh, they're cheating on me or something, but actually it's not that at all. It's just someone that they know. It's just somebody that they're doing business with, or it's their cousin. You know what I mean? So try to avoid those kinds of situations in the future. That's what you're being cautioned about, is you're misunderstanding something. And it's very easy to misunderstand things. It really is, especially if we have the limited point of view. That's why I'm saying to you, if there's something in the future that you don't get, that you kind of think, wait it out and ask questions, and be cool about it, and don't be so quick to jump to something negative. Okay, that's all I got to say on
So we
it.
have Jan in the other room, and Jan wants to know, may I have a reading, a general reading? So I'm going to give you. We have 51 minutes. Usually our show ends in about 4 minutes. So I'll just give a
Oh,
3 card reading. Okay.
okay.
So looking at that, we have for you here, sweetheart. Says if you find yourself needing to have someone be supportive of you at this time, Jan. Don't be afraid to reach out. Whether that means somebody that can be supportive at work, or whether it means someone that can do something in during legalities to help you retire, or whatever it is, find somebody to help you on a concern in your life that has been bothering you. Your reading says, when things are confusing, you need help. Don't try to handle it on your own. I can honestly say that if you do this, you will be so much happier. So pick out which 2 concerns are really driving you crazy. What things are not being said? What things are undone? What things need your focus, Jan? Because it says you pick two and you get help on them. Not from a psychic, but from somebody that can actually help you in your job or retirement. What do you have, Joseph?
Well, I do see that what she needs to do, she has two friends. I'm seeing that just a couple of people here. And I see that there's one person, there's a female who is jealous of you. There's a friend who is jealous and is envious of what you're able to do and is envious of your accomplishments, and they're not that big of a help, okay? So I'm not saying that they're evil or that they're trying to hurt you. I'm just saying, when somebody has that kind of envy, a lot of times they might unconsciously not, kind of cause things to not go well. Because I do see problems being caused by someone who may be jealous. So you might want to rethink who you're getting your support from. And if there's something that you want to do, professional that you're doing, then try to get support from people that would recognize what you're doing and that know something about what you're doing. Not so much the good friends, okay? Really try to get that support from somebody that is to look at what you've done and your work and not you. Okay, that's what we need. That's what I see. Watch out for jealousy, though. You're very gifted, you're very talented, so it's only natural that some people might think that things are easy for you. And they don't see that you, too, have to work very hard at what you have. So.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Joseph, I think we're coming to the end of our show. And
okay.
I just want to say that thank you, everybody, for being here. Joseph and I will be here again next Monday. And
yes.
Forgive our delay here. We've got a little bit of delay between our voices. And so
we
sometimes,
do.
I know, but I will say that it's been a great talking to you. Joseph, why don't you give us a quick little prayer and then we'll take off and fly away.
Okay. I bring the cosmic forces into my being, asking for strength, protection, and guidance. I bring the cosmic forces into my being, asking for strength, protection, and guidance. I bring the cosmic forces into my being, asking for strength, protection, and guidance. Protect me with your white light and help me to do my best. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And I don't know what next week's topic is going to be.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
It'll be the untold story for now.
It's the untold story. And I'm not hearing that music yet today. So
No. I guess we have to sing.
It comes when you don't want it, and when you're ready, it doesn't. But I'm going to do a quickie here.
Oh, it stopped.
There we go. Okay, I hear it. All right. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is AchieveRadio.com.